got my friend here, Mr. Leo Picton. All right, so we're doing something completely different. This is completely random. I mean, I've done this one before, like where it's completely random. We talk about basically anything in the podcast. So, hell yeah, man! I'm excited. I'm glad we're here. Let me get on. Let me get on the social real quick and send out these things that we're live.
Yeah, send out the notifications. And we're a little late. We're a little late because
Just a little, not too much.
My ass had to deal with holiday traffic. Dude, they fucking shut down. The police shut down a mile of the biggest road, like, in my area for no reason. I drove through it, and there was no accidents. There was nothing. They just, like, coned off lanes and were, like, flagging people through. The lights were all working fine.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't see shit. Why are you guys playing traffic officers here, dude? Fuck, it's the middle of the holidays.
Right.
So yeah, that's why I'm late.
Sorry about that. Well, it's okay. I don't care. Well, let's get this podcast started. First off with, what are we drinking?
I heard it sounded like a wine stopper for you. What the heck was that?
It's still cork. It's a bourbon.
Okay, all right.
It's called Lost Republic. It basically looks like the California flag. Got the bear and all with the fish in his mouth. It looks pretty cool. I'll put a picture on the screen later. Oh yeah, ooh. I forgot. For the YouTube guys who didn't watch this live, you're gonna get a little bit of more interaction with the video, so it's gonna look cooler. I'm gonna add photos, videos for whatever topic we're talking about in the later YouTube guys. Let's close this. Okay, so yeah, about my bourbon, man. I'm drinking this whiskey, which is, what's the proof? Doesn't tell me. God damn you. 91 proof. There it is. Doesn't say the ABV.
91 proof. Sounds good.
It is tasty. It tastes like a little bit of maple syrup. It's not too spicy. It's kind of strong when you first drink it, but when you start drinking sips here and there, it starts to smooth out a little bit more because I guess your palates adjust to it.
Oh yeah, and you start to get tipsy.
It's straight bourbon whiskey. They use premium corn, rye, and barley grains. A traditional copper pot distiller, and premium charred American white oak barrels blend together to give it that bourbon unique taste to it. A lot of apple in the nose. It feels good. I like it. Caramel, banana, stuff like that.
Well, I'm not nearly as bougie as Mantis here. I'm just drinking fucking Captain Morgan 100 proof. It's got a hint of oak
never
barrel.
Stray from the Captain.
That's not true. That's not true.
Every time we drink, dude, it's something about with Captain Morgan. Every time we've done our drinking contest or kill contest back in the day in the clan, it was always Captain.
I had beer a bunch too. I do like to mix it up. Don't get me wrong. I'll experiment, but you can't beat a good 100 proof rum that you can drink straight. It fucks you up for cheap, man. I mean, I gotta go to it as my staple.
That's
but
true. Yeah,
you throw me something new to try, I'm definitely gonna try it. It's not that I'm not adventurous. I'm just a creature of habit. Damn it! Don't judge me for my drinking.
Yeah, I was a creature of habit until I broke out of my shell.
Okay. He's over here making me feel bad, people.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Because I'm not spending $100 on my bottle of copper distilled bourbon.
No, this bourbon was $30, and it's a really large bottle.
I was gonna say it's probably decent.
Like that? Yes,
Yeah, that's.
Didn't pour me.
That's what I like to hear. We're off to a good start then, everybody. And I just wanted to comment really quick when you mentioned earlier, this is totally random, it's a little different. We actually don't script our shows in general, but we do typically line up the topics and the objectives, things that we want to touch on at least. This is blind, and that's what Mantis meant when he said that. But we don't. You could probably tell if you've listened to our other shows. We don't have a script that we're following, even on a normal episode.
I mean, that's how it's more natural that way, you know, and more dynamic. I think.
Yep. I agree.
Well, we did have somewhat of a guideline. So you had a gaming topic that you wanted to talk about. Did you want to hit up that first?
Yeah. That's fine. It was something that just hit me the other day,
Okay.
and it's gonna tie into something else that I want to talk about later for sure. But I wanted to talk about gaming burnout, and I don't know if this happens to you,
Yeah.
if it's an age thing, if it's just me, but I just feel like lately I don't have that same passion for gaming I did when I was younger. Like I still play games every day, but
Yeah.
I'm like not usually branching out as much anymore. I play the same couple of games, like work on them much more slowly. Like you
Mm-hmm.
remember, I would get a game and I would platinum it in like a month.
Yeah.
I would like just grind it out, throw 8, 10 hours a day at it, and just get everything, and then buy the next one and do it again. I'm still working on like games from months ago, having platinum and all that lately, and it's like it's still fun, but I just don't have that same drive
Right.
anymore.
Right.
And I don't know what that is. Maybe there's just not a lot on the market right now. I mean, we got a couple of great things coming up in the next 3 or 4 months, but I don't know. What do you think about that? Does that happen to you first off?
It does. It does, and it'll be like actually enough to where I haven't played a game in like a week,
Mm,
and but when I come back, I kind of come back a little hard. Maybe that's something that because if you start playing every day, I say actually take a week break and see what happens when you come back to it.
yeah. That makes sense. It's kind of like just pacing yourself
Yeah.
in a way.
I guess your tolerance for gaming has grown so much to where your expectations in gaming is not as strong or not as immersive as you want it to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it, actually. That's kind of why I asked. I don't know if we have a lot of like live listeners right now, but anybody that checks us out after the fact too, throw it in the comments because I'd be curious. Like when I was 25, I went hard. It didn't matter what type of game it was, shooter, RPG, strategy game. I would just soak them all in and I would go to hit all the achievements all the time. It was always a fun challenge. And now it's like only this series that I'm like a diehard fan of. Am I like
Right.
really picking up and going crazy with?
I see what you mean. Yeah, you're waiting for that one game. You're a little bit more. I guess I'm a bit more budgety about my money with games lately because since they're kind of coming out shitty, and then I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's how you feel, but that's how I felt with Battlefield 5, and that's when kind of was like, I gotta stop spending $60 right off the bat because it's like I'm not getting the full game. They're not doing now. What they're doing lately is they'll release the game without any microtransactions, and a good month or two, then they'll slap it in.
yep.
They did that with Call of Duty. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? Now I'm coming into this. I'm enjoying Call of Duty as casual, and when a month, I think a month and a half later, microtransactions. So I'm like, what? And they're kind of
Yeah,
pushing it in your face a little too. And I'm like, oh, come on, dude. I was having a good time just coming home for a few minutes, maybe half an hour or an hour, to blast some fools. And now I gotta look at this transaction shit. I'm like,
yeah, dude. It's all ad revenue at the end of the day. You think
yeah,
about it, they're advertising to try to get you to buy. And actually, again, you kind of bring up something I hadn't really thought about. We're of the age that, like, what I would say, years, like the teenage years, was all offline gaming.
yeah,
Like, just barely for me in, like, I want to say, like 15, 16, were we starting to get online gaming as a real option. And, like, outside of PC. And even then, it was still pretty new. But we had that self-contained experience. You
yeah,
popped the cartridge in or the CD into the PS1, whatever, and you had your story, your experience, your game. That doesn't exist anymore. Like almost not at all. There's a few exceptions, like Witcher 3 is a good one that comes to mind, but like most games now, you are forced to interact with the internet. You are forced to see advertisements, to see transactions, to deal with other players and their involvement. And that's fun. Like, I mean, trust me, I love online gaming, but it's just there is no option to not really have it anymore and just have that escapist fantasy where you just detach from everything and get absorbed in a fantasy world. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Well, it is what it is, and social media and being online is changing our culture, and we still don't know if that's good or bad. We haven't felt the long term repercussions of being online all the time or social media being online all the time. Our next generation, our children are growing up with it, and we don't know what the the effects that it'll have on them when they grow up older and all that. And we're still learning, I guess, as a culture and as a society and all that. But, it is what
Absolutely,
it is.
dude.
It is what it is. We'll just have to
You're,
live as we go, one day at a time.
that's right. But I'm just glad to know I'm not crazy. Like I thought maybe it was just like I was afraid I was losing my passion because I always remember my dad telling me when I was like 15 years old. He's like, one day you're probably like in your 20s, you're gonna not want to play games anymore. I'm like, you're full of shit, man. I've had a controller in my hand since I was 3 years old.
Yeah,
Fucking 30 years in at this point,
yeah.
and like I definitely have not given it up by any means. But I'm just like, shit.
It has slowed
I
down.
he,
Yeah.
he's he has slowed. Yeah, he was kind of right. And I've also found
Hmm.
myself more interested in playing older games. Like I'm playing Final Fantasy 11, which is almost a 20-year-old game at this point.
Yeah.
Um, and I find it more fun than a lot of things that are current day.
Yeah. I've been
Although I
doing that
did
too.
on the on the Black Friday sale, I did get the Resident Evil 2 remaster and the Uncharted, the whole Uncharted collection on the PS4,
Nice.
and I'm gonna go through that. That they were both cheap, so
Yeah, I did that. I did that a few
definitely.
times too. Going back on some older games, I did play a little bit of Dead Space, a little bit of Fear, and what else? I did a little bit of Metal Gear Solid. I played a little bit of that. And I'm like, I'm going back and getting those memories as it's that it's a nostalgia. That it works. It works. It kind of gets you back into the gaming too, and played a little bit of that older game, and all of a sudden I'm picking up one of the newer games. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm getting back into it. I'm getting back into it.
Yep, I think that's a big reason why I'm really excited for the Final Fantasy VII remake
Mm-hmm.
because that's going to be the nostalgia with a fresh set of skin on it, basically, and
Right.
it's going to be really cool. I think I'm really excited, but I'm pissed off, man. They pushed back Last of Us 2 and Persona 5 and something else. The Tales game, the new
Yeah.
Tales game. Pretty much everything I thought was coming like quarter one is all got pushed back.
Last of Us not too far. May, right?
It's May, yeah,
Yeah.
May. It was supposed to be February though,
Yeah.
originally.
Yeah. I mean, that was going to be a lot of
Bastards.
Valentine's Day gifts. That's for sure.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. Probably for the guys.
um.
Absolutely.
mm. So I had. Let's jump into the next thing. I wanted to talk about the Game Awards of 2019 and all the winners. I don't know if you
Go
watched
for
it.
it.
I didn't really watch it.
I
I only saw clips
nope.
here and there. I kind of
Yeah,
avoid
that's
it
about all I
now.
did.
I kind of avoid it now because I don't know. I just don't watch it. But I do read up on it. Game of the year. Let's get right to it. It's Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice is number one.
Yeah.
I guess so. I mean,
And
I
that's
never
crazy.
I never played it. Have you?
No, and I mean I know like Joanna, for example, was really, really pushing me to do it. And
Really?
I mean anybody I know that played it just raved about it. So I mean I trust the people, a lot of the people who said good things about it to me personally.
Hmm.
I trust their judgment, and not one of them had anything bad to say about it. So that says a lot to me. It's
Right.
probably well deserved. I wish I could say, yeah, I have firsthand experience with it, but I don't.
Check this out.
It's just a samurai freaking Dark Souls, man. That's that. How could that go wrong?
It really can't. It really can't. But check this out. Best action game. Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah, yeah, I was happy about that, dude. And I said it on a couple of our episodes back when that game was newer that they really perfected the formula of that series, and I'm so
Hmm.
glad they went back to the original storyline. The reboot was fun. I didn't hate it at all, but there was a lot in that original storyline they never really finished, and I was really glad to see them do it. It just hit on all cylinders. That's a game
Hey,
I still got to go back to platinum.
are you on the chat at all?
But
Have you seen the chat?
no, 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 I'm not. Why?
Oh
What's
yeah.
that?
Nerd News Social is joining us today.
Nice.
Hello, sir.
What's
How
going
you
on?
doing?
Thanks for joining.
Art direction was Control. Not bad. I haven't played it. I've been wanting to. Audio
Yeah,
designs, Call of Duty. Community supports.
that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean the guns sound great. Community support is Destiny 2. Content creator of the year is
Yeah.
Shroud. I'm gonna skip the esports stuff. I'm not a big esports guy. Let's see. Family
Yeah,
games:
me either.
Luigi's Mansion 3. Fighting games: Super Smash Bros. Of course.
See, and it's funny. I'll pause there really quick
Go ahead.
because there's a lot of controversy about that, and especially if you take to social media like Facebook and whatnot, people are just like ripping the fan base is ripping apart the supporters of Smash as a fighting game, like the hardcore like Tekken's and Street Fighters and stuff, because they're like, there's no button input, there's no button commands. How could you really even consider this a fighting game by comparison to even like a Mortal Kombat, where combos and fatalities are dictated by complex and unique combinations of presses and stuff. And it's a really funny argument. I was just literally trolling people today on articles, just like reading people going back and forth. Um, I don't know that I share that opinion because Smash Brothers is very intricate. Like to me, that it's definitely intricate in a different way. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. It's not hard in the way that a Tekken is or a Killer Instinct even. What the hell was
Um,
that?
someone's out down in the gate that needs me to open the gate. It's my sister-in-law.
Oh
Um,
shit! All right,
it's kind of
you can leave it run.
important. If you could
Go
talk to
ahead.
the group, I got a guy who's on the chat. If you could try to get on the chat, you could talk
Hey,
to him.
link me. Send a link real quick, and then I can
Okay,
pop over.
it's real simple. Let me send it to you right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think
this
you've actually ever given it to me, to be honest with you.
really.
I'm pretty sure. I don't think so. If you did, I definitely lost it. Um,
There you go. All right,
but
I'll
yeah,
be back.
over to me. All right.
And that's her text message sound.
That's what I was thrown by. All right. Well, sorry guys for the distraction here, or the delay. Here it is. Hopefully loading it up right now. Welcome to the chat room. Good stuff. All right. Well, if there is anybody still in the chat, I got it up. So go ahead and fire up any sort of comments or questions. I'm just going to finish my thought for the sake of the recording on Smash Brothers. It's funny to me that it has a lot of depth to it, especially if you're talking about professional or competitive play, and I think it gets undersold for that. Hey yo, what's up, Nerd News? Thank you. Well, yeah, it's just funny how divisive that win in that column was for the community. And that's kind of all I'll say about it right now. But yeah, while we wait for Mantis to get back, Nerd News, you got anything on your mind or anything that you wanted to have discussed? I mean, if not, I can always just fill it with a song and dance number here. It's no big deal. I'm already halfway to insane. Talking to myself isn't a big deal.
Hey, I'm back.
Hey, that was fast.
Because I ran.
Dude, I was gonna say sprint. I was
Jog.
I'm in the chat, by the way. So we're good there. But really,
What I
that's
missed?
interesting. Well, I finished my thought on Smash Brothers.
Okay.
You pretty much got the gist of it. But just reading Nerd News in the chat, you said, I remember when I was younger saying that Nintendo wasn't gaming, and as I got older, I realized that gaming is gaming, like across the board. And we've actually covered that topic several episodes ago, Nerd News. We talked about whether or not mobile gaming could be considered actual gaming, like if you're a gamer for being involved in mobile gaming exclusively. And I agree. I think both Mantis and I agree that sentiment. It's you could say hardcore gamer versus casual gamer, maybe, but if you're playing any sort of game at all, and you're doing it consistently with an intent to get better or to beat it or whatever, I think that constitutes gaming as a whole. I agreed completely.
That makes sense.
And I think Nintendo got a lot of crap because, and even to this day, they cater more towards the family gaming or even kids gaming. and sure, maybe that's not all of our preference, especially not as we get older, but that doesn't detract from what it is at all. Uh, that doesn't
Nice.
detract from what
It usually doesn't, but that's okay.
it is.
We're in this together, man.
Oh, yeah, I'm not alone. But yeah, so you can go on with the rest of your list now, by the way. Sorry, I just kind of cut in on that
Oh
Smash
yeah,
Brothers
that's
thing.
right. Yeah, the fresh indie game, which Disco Elysium. I guess yeah, Elysium. I
Let's go. Elysium? I don't know.
no,
I have
not
no idea what that
Elysium.
is.
Game directions Death Stranding. Wow. Okay. I mean, I haven't played it. Wasn't really big in it.
Death Stranding.
Um,
Yeah,
I
I
lost. I
really
lost.
had high hopes.
Me too. That's unfortunate. But
I
it
mean, I don't
is
know what sales numbers look like. Like if it bombed, I don't think it tanked, but I just don't know that it got the reception that we all wanted.
right. I haven't heard anything about it other than a few videos here and there. There's some friends that are kind of playing it. Some of the YouTube guys that are playing it. I mean, Joe, the Angry Joe show, he reviewed it and he was kind of confused in the beginning, but towards the end, he said that once you play the game, you actually have to pay attention to it. You end up understanding it and liking it more.
Hmm. Well, and I know you give him quite a lot of credibility. So do I. I love his channel and his reviews.
Mhm.
Um, and if he signs off on it and gives it anything over a 6, that's generally going to be something worth your time. So I guess I might give it a try. Actually, I'm confident I will give it a try, but I'm going to wait for it to get on sale or find a way to
Yeah,
borrow it or something because I don't want to spend money on it, buy it new.
same here.
That
Same
to
here.
me it just doesn't seem like.
God, I really wish that the PlayStation let us share more accounts. Like you
Well,
remember how
hold
we
on really
shared?
quick. Nerd News was in the chat just mentioning Death Stranding too. Is that he saying it's better based on its multiplayer features? So wait, are you saying your girlfriends reviewed the game and that you want us to check that out? Is that what you meant?
Uh, as far as I know, I haven't seen her review. It's
No, no,
Monica.
no.
It's Monica.
Yeah.
Uh,
I didn't know that Monica reviewed it.
yeah.
I just didn't want to throw her name out there, but whatever. Might as well.
Oh. Oh. Let's see. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I'll check it out. Games for Impact is Gris. I don't know anything of that. Independent game is
Neither do I.
Disco Elysium again. Let's see. Mobile game. Call of Duty Mobile. Multiplayer game is Apex. Narrative is Disco again. Ongoing game is Fortnite. Oh my god. Performance.
Yeah, that could die anytime.
Yeah. Role playing game Disco again. I didn't know it was a role playing game. Sound and score Death Stranding. That makes sense though. Devil May Cry was a runner up. Let's see.
Damn it. Well, that's fine.
Strategy game Fire Emblem. A VR game is Beat Saber.
Yes, well, both of those, just going to throw my 2 cents in, amazing games. My ex, when she was living with me, had Fire Emblem. I was thinking about buying it myself, and she beat me to the punch, and I ended up watching like most of the game, and just even helping her like in some of the fights and stuff, and it's really cool. And obviously, Beat Saber, dude, especially on PC when you mod it and you can just get like any fucking song you want.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, is that fun?
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Have
Nerd
you had a chance to
Social.
play it or no?
I'm gonna. No, I haven't. I haven't. I've never been really big in it. Hold on one second.
Disappointing.
I wanted to give Tin Hawk a follow, but I can't tell which one.
Oh, nice.
There. I think I've got the right one. Oh no. No, I think I spelled it
Oh
wrong.
boy, now
I followed
you're
some
following some
random
40
person.
Oh shit. Well, you
Anyway,
helped him out.
yeah, I tried. I'll keep trying. But that's basically it. I don't really watch the Game of the Year awards. The last time I watched it was 2 years ago, and I didn't really like it. I think that's what kind of made me fall off the horse with it. But as far as the Game Awards, I'll just only read about it.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. And just like anything else anymore, it's very what's the word? It's a lot of grandstanding. You know, they
Mhm.
beef it up again for advertisement and everything else. Just get to the meat and potatoes.
Mhm.
Oh,
Have you?
see you, nerd news. Thanks for joining us, buddy. See
Yeah,
you around next
appreciate it.
time.
Talk to you later, man. Thank you. Um, let's see. Have you seen have you downloaded the Disney Plus at all? I've been wanting to ask
Absolutely
you that.
not.
Really? Why not?
No, no. I don't give a shit. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't need them for the Marvel movies. I've seen them all in theaters a million times. I love them.
Mhm.
Don't need to watch them again at home.
Right.
I don't really care about old Disney movies. Again, I love them from when I was a kid, nostalgia, whatever. But I don't have a child around my house. I don't really see a need to go watch fucking Little Mermaid. And you know the original content. I know Mandalorian's blowing up and it's amazing. Everyone loves it, and that's cool. I'll find a way to pirate it or stream it somewhere else eventually, or I'm sure they'll release it as like a Blu-ray on its own eventually, and I'll
Right.
just watch it then. Like I don't. The original content is not a robust enough experience for me to care.
Okay.
So uh, I'm not subscribing to it. The only thing, if I were paying for Hulu, I know there was that thing where you basically get it for like a buck or a penny or something stupid
Right.
because it was like Hulu and Disney together for basically the same price as what Hulu
Well,
was.
also
But
ESPN too.
you know, yeah. If I had those subscriptions that I was paying for, then maybe
Mhm.
just kind of bundle it in and get it. But my buddy lets me use all of his logins for every streaming service out there,
Oh,
except for
cool.
Disney Plus because he also doesn't have it. So I don't have to pay
Right
for any
on.
of them.
Right on. That's
And
cool.
you know,
Yeah, the whole family here does
and that's honestly
basically the
how.
same thing. Like
Yeah,
one
yeah.
one one
Like
person will
I
do
get one, you get
Netflix,
one.
yeah, and the other person does Amazon, and the other person does Disney, and everyone just shares. It's basically just paying for one service, you know.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
so
that's the
what?
way you
Yeah,
got to
that's
do
what
it.
I wanted to ask you. I wanted to ask you if you had downloaded it and watched Mandalorian at all. And I'm like, I want to talk about it, and yeah, I can't. Thanks, buddy.
No. You can't. I don't mind. I don't mind if there's spoilers. Like I mean, I'm into
No,
Star
I'm not
Wars
gonna
quite a
spoil
bit.
it for
You
theirs
know.
because there's viewers. There's people watching, so I'm not gonna do that to them. That's horrible. I hate it. What's your thoughts on spoilers since we're on that topic? I hate it.
Oh, they're fucking
I
terrible.
avoid it
I yeah,
when it comes to like social media.
I
I
agree.
avoid it. In no way, no. I want to experience it for myself. And when people start throwing things out like the Baby Yoda thing that came out the next day, and everyone was like, "Oh, come on, you could wait at least 3 to 7 days before you post stuff like that." But nope, post it. And actually, that comes into another topic. I don't know if you saw this, but I posted on basically both Instagram and Facebook that I want to do a 30-day detox from social media. I don't know if that's something
Ooh,
you ever
that could be
wanted
a
to
good.
do.
Yeah, I don't find myself on it excessively anyway, but it is a good idea, I think.
I think I am mainly on Instagram. I'm on it all the time. Um,
Really?
I'm afraid to check the statistics on my phone to see how many times or how many hours I'm on it a day. Let's do that
Oh
right
shit.
now. Let's just see
All
how
right.
much I'm on it,
I'll
just
do face.
out of curiosity.
Yeah, I'll do
Um,
Facebook for me because that's the one. Most, although I forget where you got to go to see that now.
yeah, me too.
Is it on a person?
You could just, if you're on Android, you could just search it and see screen time. I think it's screen time. Oh, not screen timeout. Um, it's not. I can't seem to find it. If anyone's on the chat that knows how to do it, go ahead and spit it at us right away.
Activity log for
Ooh,
me.
where's
I'm
that?
just lazy. Freaking.
Activity?
No, that wasn't it. How do you see your average Facebook usage? All right, so it's click on more settings and privacy, then scroll down to your time on Facebook. There, you'll get a bar graph. All right, so settings and privacy, and then time on
Oh,
Facebook. I
privacy.
guess.
Okay. Which
Mine, but when
time?
the last time I checked, it was like an hour a day. It was not much by
I
comparison.
think it's a little bit more for me. That's one of the reasons why I started picking up a book.
Oh shit.
um, yeah, I don't see it. I'll look it up later. But anyway, um, that's one of the things I've been really wanting to do is a social media detox, but also plan on doing like a big media dump after that 30 days. So I'll still take pictures, I'll still take videos, and I'll still make stuff. And at the end, I'll just dump it all in one day. Just see how the reactions of people. I mean, I really shouldn't care of what people think or if they like my shit or not. Um, and most of the time, I don't. Still there, buddy?
Yeah. No, I was just listening, and I mean, I agree with you. At the end of the day, it's kind of one of those things that it's becoming ingrained in us.
Mm-hmm.
Like part of the reason why my ex and I broke up the way we did is because she's 21 and she was just on like for her it was 4.5 close to 5 hours a day she would spend on Facebook. As a matter of fact, that's when I looked at it, it was because of her. She found it and I pulled it up to kind of laugh at her a little bit. I'm like, dude, seriously, like that's the difference. You're on almost half of your waking hours, you're on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and what's the value there? Like all of her validation, all of her meaning in life came from likes and comments and people she's never met before. And I'm not saying online friends don't have value,
Right.
they definitely do, but not when that's all you've got. And that's the scary part is it's more and more common, that people don't interact and engage in real life activities that benefit them. It's all digitized validation, you
Right.
know?
Right. And that's unfortunate. Um, I really do think that's unfortunate. But it is what it is, and I have no solution. There's no solution to it just yet, but we'll see. I did
Well,
China.
general facts.
Didn't China like have like a restriction time or time restriction on their uh
Yeah, yeah,
on
yeah,
all
yeah.
their
I
phones or whatever?
heard about that. I heard about that, and it's funny that you mentioned it because just as I was searching for like how to find your own, I found a statistic that was saying as of 2017, which is the most recent year that this data was available because it was done this year, but they didn't have 2018's compiled yet. The
Right.
average person spent 135 minutes per day, so a little over 2 hours, almost 2.5 hours per day is the average, and
Right.
that was 2 years ago. So you got to think it's probably only gone up since then.
Well, I can guesstimate in what I use because, like, at work, most of the time, there's really nothing to do. I'm just waiting for the next person to come in, and I'm basically either on YouTube, Netflix, or on my book or on Instagram. And that time on Instagram it's not like I'm not looking at it for random shit. I do look up stuff like recipes for keto, recipes for dinner. I like looking for learning videos, stuff like that. It's still educational when I'm
Oh,
trying to aim for
dude.
myself, but I'm on that phone a lot, and I constantly see myself recharging my phone more often, and I want to avoid
Yeah.
charging it so much to where it becomes a better habit for myself.
We're idiots, by the way. It's literally staring us in the face. If you go down to settings and privacy
Uh-huh.
under Facebook, there's literally settings, privacy shortcuts, and then your time on Facebook. For me,
Oh,
I have
Facebook.
spent an average of, yeah, I'm on Facebook. For Instagram, it's my usage, I think is what it
Right.
said. But for me, I spend an average of 1 hour and 7 minutes a day on Facebook,
That's not bad.
and that's I think that's gone up. Well,
Is
like this
is
past Sunday was only 37 minutes.
is that different on PC? Do you use your PC on that at all?
I don't really get on through PC, but it would factor that in. It's all access to your account through any device. It only looks back at the last 7 days though, which kind of sucks.
Oh, okay.
I would like to know more.
Yeah.
A murderer was captured this morning and tried today.
Guilty.
Sentence, death. Execution tonight at 6. All net, all channels. Would you like to know more?
Yeah.
Because you know me, I like my data.
Yeah.
But today's my longest day, an hour and 24 minutes. And that's because we were very dead at work. And I found myself interacting with people. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Right on. I mean, do you get a lot of busy days? Is it like crazy on Fridays and shit? As they would
Typically,
say?
yeah. That's actually why I was.
Is Monday
that's why I was a
for
little surprised.
you the meaning for of Monday and Monday memes mean to anything to you on your Mondays? Because they don't for me.
Absolutely.
They don't.
Yeah, so for people that don't know, I'm in banking, and yes, 100%. Oh my God, Mondays, the first and the third of the month, every month, because that's when people get their Social Security checks, and Mondays are almost always going to be busy. Fridays usually are, but lately they haven't been. I think it's because, well, now it's actually getting cold here, and it's dark. By 4:30, it's dark, so most people don't want to come out in the dark, cold weather. So we're just not really seeing it as much.
Oh, okay. Has it been snowing out there?
God, I fucking wish. Somehow
Really?
we keep missing all the storms. Yeah, I love it when it snows, man.
Really? And you don't mind shoveling in it and all that shit?
Nope, that's good exercise. I like to shovel fast too. People are always amazed. I clear out a bunch of snow real quick.
just run out there with a blow dryer and just melt it.
I mean, that's people get snow blowers, dude. That's exactly what they're doing. They're giant fucking
they have
air
snow blowers?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, they're
that.
just like fucking gardeners with the leaf blowers out there. Same shit, basically. It just blows a bunch of hot air and melts the snow.
No shit.
And
Doesn't
blows
that
it out
just
of the
make
way.
ice though? I mean, it makes it worse, doesn't it?
Well, no, I mean it blows the snow more than it melts it. It really is more of a blower, but some of it will melt. It's just really quick and easy.
That's something.
My buddy runs a landscaping business. My buddy runs a landscaping business, and I've offered to help him in the winter months. He's never had to need me because he has people, but he's like, "Yeah, snow removal sucks. I hate it." And I was like, "Yo, just give me a big shovel. I got you."
Right on. Hell yeah, dude. That's pretty cool.
So,
shit, let's
dude, sorry.
got any topics on you? I mean, I have one. It's a little controversy, but I wanted to throw in 5 facts that gun control advocates hate. I don't know if that's something you want to talk about. If not, then we could just skip it.
No, man, throw it out there. I don't mind. I do have something I want to talk about too, and it's also kind of controversial for a different reason, but you can go ahead.
Okay, so most people didn't know these 5 facts. 92% of mass shootings since 2009 occurred in gun-free zones. Here's another one.
Wait, repeat that one again for me.
92% of mass shootings since 2009 occurred in gun-free zones.
And when you say gun-free zones,
gun-free zones is where I guess
exactly, because I mean I'm thinking like school, library, place you're not supposed to have a weapon, but
things like that. Yeah, exactly. Inside of a federal building, it could be in like the city square of what is it? In New York, I think the entire Central Park is gun-free zone. Things like that, places, areas, and like that. 92%. Those shootings happen there. A 2013 U.S. Department of Justice study found that gun violence had fallen by nearly 50% since its 1993 peak. It's number 2. Number 3 is the so-called gun show loophole is a myth. It does not exist. There is no loophole in federal law that specifies or specifically exempts gun show transactions from any other laws normally applied to gun sales. Not one. And my lovely... Oh, I'm busy. I'll talk to you later. Francesca.
Door slam.
She's 3, so... she's super cute. She came in and looked, and she peeked in and like, I'll talk to you later. Alright, number...
Slam!
Yeah, she's not really light with the door at all. Number 4. Guns are used 2.5 million times a year in self-defense in USA. So that's good, I'd like to think. As long as it's used self-defensely, then that's a good reason to have a gun. 2.5 million good reasons to use your self-defense weapon. Number 5. The following countries enacted gun bans before committing genocide in the 20th century. Ottoman Turkey, Soviet Union, Nazi Germany, China, Guatemala, Armenia, and Cambodia. So
Cambodia.
those are countries or areas that banned guns and then committed genocide. Just so you know.
Interesting.
There's links. I'll put these links on the comment below in YouTube, not here on Twitch, so you can check the facts and that I'm not bullshitting. That's some of the things. I mean, gun control. I think mental, a more better study in mental health, I think might have a better help with mass shootings, honestly. But I mean, guns are guns. I don't think they're gonna disappear easily.
No, they're definitely not. And like you said, at the end of the day, I'm interested. The gun-free zone one, that first little factoid that you gave, is interesting to me because, I mean, what that implies is that people are sneaking weapons into places. Okay, but does that really have anything to do with gun control? You know, for example, even if laws were stricter, if somebody wanted to illegally get a gun to sneak it in, like they're already willing to sneak it in somewhere.
Right.
What's to say they won't go that extra step to try to illegally get one? You know what I mean?
I can retort to that. Well, not negatively, but positively, to reinforce it. Basically, for example, the prohibition back in the day, when that occurred, people still drank. They went out of their way to drink. They made a law to where it's like 3 miles off the coast. Guess what? People went on boats that had big signs that say, "Hey, come here, drink at Joe's." And people would take their little boats over there and have drinks. And then they made another law. Guess what? 20 miles. People still did it. People still went out of their way to go get their drinks. It's going to be the same thing. They're going to go out of their way to get their guns. Get out of their way to get their bullets and so on and so forth. And Nerd Social just commented, the federal rule specifically only requires licensed resellers to run background checks. So as long as the seller isn't licensed, doesn't require background checks. Interesting. I didn't know that either. To the other side, though, most states have attempted to correct this by imposing their own laws. So California has a law closing the loophole, and Nevada is finally closing the loophole this January. Oh, okay. So maybe my myth is a little bit wrong in some states, but it looks like California is closing down on it too.
Which is good. I mean, gun control is interesting. I've never been a fan of guns in general. I'm a swords and more of a martial weapon kind of guy to begin with. But you can't, like you said, human nature is what it is. You can't restrict people from something they are going to. They're going to find a way to get what they want. They'll go through illegal means if they have to. They'll find loopholes if they can. That's just human nature. So
I can almost guarantee you people will build their own guns too. It's not that hard. I mean, as far as printing technology like plastics and things like that, it's possible. You can possibly make a gun and 3D print. No,
the barrel blows up after one shot, but you still get one shot. Oh my god, that'd be perfect. Yeah, that reminds me of a meme I saw the other day, and it showed it was an upstairs window, and the caption just said, "Yeah, I want to see someone try to steal my car while I'm warming it up." And the gun looked like it was from like 1500s, and the comment section was all just like, "Yo, the serial number on that gun is 3." Like, this is ancient ass fucking. And yeah, but to your point, like if fucking people will go get antiques, people will make their own basic bitch guns. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Nerd Delicious also commented again. Yeah, you can order a firing pin separately. Yeah, you can. You can buy all these little things, and it wouldn't be against the law to literally order your items. At least I think some items, like if you ordered a lower of an AR or something, I'm not sure if that's illegal or not, or you have to have a background check. Can you order pieces separately without going through a background check? Ooh, that's very interesting. I don't think I ever heard anyone talk about that.
I would think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could, because I mean, how are they going to confirm what you're using it for? Who's going to be doing the freaking screening on that? Like, if you got enough of this, like, depending on how small you went, like, okay, if you get firing pin, barrel, and freaking like stock, I mean, people are probably going to know what you're doing. But if you go even smaller than that, you can be like, it's a science fair project. I'm using the firing pin for a freaking, I don't know, Tesla machine. Like, it doesn't matter. You can lie. Right. It's very easy to lie when you're talking about just the components. So yeah, there's no way to police that. I wouldn't think.
So he pointed out that you have to register the gun. So if I ordered a whole bunch of parts and put it together, do I have to register it after I put it together?
Or can absolutely, but who's going to do that?
Exactly.
I would think.
Like if a person is really intent, oh boy, we shouldn't even be talking about this, giving people ideas.
Quick, take it down. No, I'm sure people have already thought about this. Yeah. Like, it's gotta. We're not criminal masterminds over here. But you're right. We don't support or promote this, guys. Just to say it out there. We're not encouraging gun violence or any sort of negative behavior like this.
No, shoot a paper, okay? Or go hunting.
Better yet, train in martial arts.
Yes.
It's better for the body.
Which is a good segue. I'm actually getting back into Kung Fu. I have already talked to my Sifu. We've already agreed on a day. And I just gotta have, a little bit of cash and be able to toss his way so he can teach me. And I'm going full force because I'm losing the weight. I'm feeling good. The gym is working. The diet is working. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good. So I'm ready to kick some ass and everybody's kung fu fighting.
Nice. Well, then hopefully you'll be in shape to train me up a bit when I'm out there, because I'm going to need to come and visit when I finally get back out.
I should.
And I miss my master, Mantis.
I could teach you now if we wanted to, but it would be kind of difficult,
Well, I mean, I know basic forms and stuff, but yeah, I mean, I would like the chance to have that hand-to-hand again.
Yo, Reason! Check it out. Reason Lately is here. Hey, how's it going, man? We're just here to talking some random top-tier podcast. Basically, we went through a couple of things. We went through the Game Awards. We talked about gaming burnout. We talked about gun laws. Well, not gun laws, but some.
Now we're talking about gun control.
Then we moved to gun control, and then we moved to girlfriend talk or ex-girlfriend talk, and I tried to do some kind of Disney Plus thing, but Joe here didn't get it. But go back to it then. I wanted to talk to you. What was the most recent movie that you actually watched? Because I want to have basically all the topics we possibly can. I want to hit movies. I want to hit music. I want to hit books. I want to hit the drinks that we did. We were drinking some bourbon. Joe here is drinking some rum.
I see movies very frequently with my friends, as I think we usually go. Mm-hmm. But the last month was kind of dead. I'm trying to remember. They saw Terminator. I missed that one.
I'm skipping it.
I saw obviously Joker. I saw the new Maleficent. Mm-hmm. Shit, I gotta go look at my ticket stubs. I can't remember. We went and saw Princess Mononoke in theaters for a special event. Obviously, that's nothing new, but it was cool to see on the big screen. Damn it, that might have actually been the last one I saw was Mononoke.
Okay.
But the last new quote unquote movie was Maleficent. I'm pretty sure. I have to check.
I want to see Ghostbusters. Have you seen the trailer for that?
Yeah. I'm also going to be going to Star Wars this week, of course.
You're going to see Star Wars? I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, right at 6 o'clock. Right at 6. I haven't seen any trailers, so that's the other thing. The one thing you got to know about me, because I've never told you this, is when it's a movie I know I'm going going to see, I avoid every fucking trailer. I go in blind. I've been doing that since like I think it was Guardians 2
Oh,
of
really?
like the movies, yeah. And every time, dude, I just love it because you go in, you have no clue what to expect. Anything that's cut from the trailer, you don't like, oh, where's that scene? You don't have to worry about it. It's there. And
That
then I
makes
always go
sense.
back and watch the trailer right after I see the movie.
Uh,
And I'm like, dude, they blew the money shot right in the trailer or whatever. Like you know the like the new Hellboy, like when they show him coming
mm-hmm.
out with the horns in the trailer. And I'm like, fuck, like that was one of the better parts of the fucking movie, and they just gave it all away right there.
Okay, that does
So
make
I
sense
love.
because the trailer, a trailer, builds up this expectation for you, and it kind of ruins it, huh?
Yeah, it can. It can. A lot of times it does. Now, sometimes, particularly like horror movies, they can do it where it's suspenseful, like just to get your interest, but doesn't really give anything away. And those I'll usually peep. But yeah, most other story movies, action movies, anything like that, you get a lot ruined from the trailer. So I don't do that. So that to that point, no clue what the fuck to expect in Rise of Skywalker.
Right.
I have theories, and I'll be honest, I feel like I'm in the minority that actually enjoys this new trilogy. I didn't hate Last Jedi. I don't. I think people. I don't know. I want to say that we're just going to dive into Star Wars. Fuck it. I didn't grow up with the original trilogy in the same way a lot of people did. Like, obviously, I watched them. I'm a nerd. I love Star Trek and Star Wars. I
Right.
saw them as a child, but I am just young enough that, like, obviously, I wasn't around when they first came out in theaters.
Right.
But
Neither
then
was
even the
I.
hype of them. Right. Yeah, I know you weren't, but even the hype of them on VHS when they came out,
Mm-hmm.
like in the early '80s, I wasn't around for that either. So it had kind of died down a
Yeah, it
bit.
was. Yeah.
And when it came back around, I was already like a late teen as the prequel trilogies were coming out. Then, of
Yeah.
course, people were like, oh, well, I gotta like really get back into seeing them again when they came out on DVD. And it was around then that I saw them. So I love episodes 4, 5, and 6. I think Empire Strikes Back is the best of them all. And I know that's the stock answer and
Right.
whatever. I don't care. They are all good movies.
Mm-hmm.
But I think people got way too fucking tied up in Luke being a badass. And it's like, Luke's a fucking man, first and foremost. He is a human being who feels like he failed and had the weight of the literal universe on his shoulders. And it turned him into a bitter old man. Like, that is completely realistic. I loved that character arc. It sucks that it's like, oh,
You
he's,
haven't read
a little,
the books. That's the problem.
I haven't. You're right.
If you had read the books, you would have seen and understand Luke's perspective as becoming a Jedi, building the new Jedi Order, and he actually had dozens of students. And Leia was a badass. She knew how to use the lightsaber. She had a yellow one, and that ruined everything for me. That ruined the entire Star Wars genre, the whole thing, basically. I'm like, every movie that's been coming out lately has been, no offense to anyone who's loving it, I think it's trash. It's literally trash. Like, why is Luke literally milking one of those monsters to drink the blue milk? Like, why would they add that? Why is that something so important to put in your 2 hours and a half, maybe almost 3, of a movie? I don't understand that. Like, what happened to Admiral Thrawn? Admiral Thrawn is the most best villain in all of Star Wars. Like, stronger, smarter, and more efficient than the Emperor ever was. And I love the Emperor. Palpatine is an awesome villain. When it comes to Admiral Thrawn, man, wow, he is a technician. He's tactical. He's strategically master, and it's just, I wish they really used those books as canon, and they don't. They threw it all out.
I'll agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that completely, and I will tell you that the director change from 7 to 8 showed in horrible ways. Like, you could tell Abrams originally had a vision for how he wanted this trilogy to go, and it was building to something in Force Awakens. Like, I thought that was a strong movie on its own, and you had hope that they had this really deep narrative building for the trilogy, and then it got like overhauled mid through. So I will say that I'm not saying Last Jedi is like the greatest thing ever and that I love it. I'm enjoying them for what they are, but also to answer
I do
your
enjoy
question
it. I just don't know. Sorry.
They could have done a lot better. I agree with you. And the whole scene with Luke and the milk, I think I think they were just trying to go to emphasize like this dude's like gone off the deep end. He's so full of self misery and he's just like borderline insane at this point because he's sequestered himself like a hermit. And that's that, you know. He's just that's who he is now. Kind of almost like Yoda. Like you know, when they found Yoda in Dagobah, he seemed eccentric as fuck because he'd just been hiding there alone all that time. And I think that was kind of the feel they were trying to go for. So they threw something crazy at us. Like, well, he's drinking fucking animal milk right there. Like, that's fucking what the hell? He's nuts. And it's weird, yeah, obviously. But I think that's what they were going for,
Yeah.
personally. But you know, his death, I didn't mind because again, he had been cut off from the Force for so long and then used Force projection to that degree for that accuracy over that distance for as long as he did would have been an enormous strain on him, who is now out of practice, basically. Right. Like I that part I totally felt was fine. That was another place that people thought was just completely wrong, should never have happened. And it's like again, realistic. You get 30 years out of practice in martial arts and you try to do a fucking standard routine, you're gonna break a hip. You know, like it's just how it is. So, anyway,
I see your point of view. As far as your generation, well, fuck, I feel like an old man for saying that.
I mean, we're the generation. You're only like 4 years older than me, I think.
How old are you?
33.
Oh, okay. I'm 38. I guess those 5 years does count, though. I mean, I think those 5 years gives me a little bit more wisdom.
Well, yeah, of course it does. But you're the same generation.
Yeah,
for sure.
Same generation. God, where was I going with that? Anywho, but I understand what you were saying. I love the prequels. I not as much as Phantom Menace. The favorite parts in Phantom Menace for me are the race. And the saber battles, space battles at the end. I didn't really like the beginning and the middle as much, but when it became the race, the F1 sounding pod racer, oh yeah,
yeah. And Qui-Gon is obviously a badass. Maul, badass. They had a good cast in Phantom Menace.
Yeah, but I think Nerd News Social here says that Luke wanted to look pathetic in front of Rey, so she would leave him alone. I kind of understand. Ooh, that's a good point of view. A certain point of view. I don't know if you know the quotes from Star Wars, but that's one of them. But I see that. I see that he wants to be left alone. He doesn't want to like leave me alone. Here, I'm gonna look like an idiot. Okay.
Or crazy.
That's a good point. Or crazy. Yeah, that's a good point. But in the books, man, Jedi is Luke was just a badass. And
they touched on it. They touched on it with Ben. Like, he did have students. He was reestablishing that, and then that whole thing went to shit. Now, that's way different, I realize. But It wasn't like he threw that out. Like, he was in the process of rebuilding and doing that, and then the movies just took it a different direction. It's kind of like how the MCU takes it away from the comics. Like, a lot of the stuff is pretty different from the comics. But it's just its own universe with its own storyline that is coherent within itself. But anyway, definitely going to see that on Thursday.
I say try your best to watch a Mandalorian because that brings hope to me. That's a ray of light right there. Not Rey herself, but a ray of light towards Mandalorian.
I see what you did.
But yeah, dude. I think this podcast is running pretty damn good. We're at 1 hour in another 30 seconds from now.
Yep. And I do still have this topic, and it's totally changing gears. But you saw this already. This is something I posted on my Facebook.
Hold on 1 second, my friend. Hold on. Tin Hawk, Monica, thank you for subscribing or following our channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Oh God.
That's cool. Right on.
We got somebody.
Yeah, you did.
I hear her. I hear her. She's going to blow us up now, I feel like.
Yeah, and Joe. Where were we? I cut you off.
Yeah, you bastard. Uh, um, I was just talking about this. This is something that you saw. I shared it on my Facebook about 2 weeks ago almost. And there is an author that I subscribe to. His name is Mark Manson. Does a lot of good work, a lot of quality articles. Has released a couple of books. All of them very entertaining. Usually all about perspective and just they're not self help, but that's the closest category I could throw them into. But I'm gonna. He released an article, and one of the points in it was talking about millennial burnout. This concept in society that we have a pretty prominent feel of right now, that millennials are a hopeless generation. They're apathetic. They're feeling like there's no hope for them at all. That the world's completely broken. That everything is hard. So therefore, they have a very high rate of mental illness. They have a high rate of effectively just not giving a shit, starting life late, not getting out of
Yeah.
the parents' home till later. And he wrote about why he feels that concept is bullshit, like as a whole, why there's not as much validity in that way of thinking exclusive to them. And I think that's the big piece of it. Now, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I was going
Hmm.
to, but for the interest of time, I'm just going to summarize that, when he did his research, he talks about how on average, people work fewer hours today in this modern society than we ever have in modern history. Like if you look back 100 or 200 years, people
Right.
were working 60, 70-hour weeks. You go back even further than that, like in my mind, I'm thinking feudal era, serfs and indentured servitude. You're working 80 to 100 hours a week for nothing, just to live, basically. You're not getting money for it. And like we don't have that now. When you talk about financial issues, there have been ebbs and flows in the economy countless times over history. And yes, the most recent depression in 2008 or whatever was one of the worst, if not the worst, on record.
Right.
But I guess the point of the article to me, and I agree with it, is that the world has always sucked. Life has always been hard. It's always going to be shit.
Hmm.
So why is it that this generation feels like it's only them? Only the boomers fucked us over. We got it worse out of everybody who's ever been alive. Things are not right,
It's
and they
always
just
going to be
they
like that,
vent.
though. It's always going to be like that. No
Right.
matter what generation, someone's always going to complain about what they're going through. Of course, you're going through it, but you got to realize everyone's gone through that. You're lucky you have a
Exactly.
roof over your head, where other cultures back in the day didn't have that. Did you build a house to have a roof over your head? No, you just find a place and pay rent. That's all you had to do. Some people had to build their own
Right.
houses to have a house. And you can't really give yourself the aspect and perspective to really understand what people were really going through back then compared to now. This day and age, I think, is the hype of our culture, the hype of human race, where technology is dramatically exploding. Um, we have information that is getting between all of us within seconds. How long would it have taken a normal person back in 1800s, let's say, to learn about a specific thing, like say aviation, or no, I'm going too far back. Let's say 1900 because that's in the beginning of aviation, basically. And let's say, how long
Yeah.
would it really take for someone to learn about aerodynamics, the structure of an actual plane or whatever? It would take for a long time compared to what someone can learn today.
Years. Years, absolutely. It'd be years of painful trial and error. You want to talk about feeling hopeless and failing at everything? Those people had to fight tooth and nail to discover things or create things
Hmm.
because there was no formula, there was no blueprint, there was no Google search. Like you had to
Right.
just fall on your face over and over again and have the wherewithal to get back up and the resilience to get back up and just keep plugging away at it. And that you hit it right on the head, dude. It's crazy because we're not the okay boomer generation. Like
Hmm.
we are maybe a couple years older than the people who are saying this a lot. And it's like I went through the same lifestyle you did. What's the difference here? I don't understand why everyone thinks the world owes them something. And my dad said it best. He says the world doesn't owe you shit. He said that to me over and over as a kid. And he was right. You don't get anything handed to you in this life. And I had an argument about that post with a woman who's 28 years old, who has lived on her own like for years, saying that everything I said and my beliefs were shitty because we have the worst housing economy. She goes, I make $16 an hour and I can't afford $700 a month for rent. I'm like, okay, first off, you're not budgeting right. because I paid $700 a month for rent 10 years ago when I was only making $11 an hour and I was fine. Like, you're not doing something right in your budgeting. But it was the sense of entitlement, even in that conversation. Like, what makes you think you should be able to just walk out into the world and get a mansion for nothing, like for no effort? You know what I mean? Like, it takes hard work to maintain a lifestyle. That's what life is. So it's very confusing to me
Right.
that you and I can be in that same age range, but it feels very common. And I do think it's like you said, there's a lack of perspective.
Mm-hmm.
There's the fact that because of technology being so prolific, they have grown up with very little resistance when it comes to learning or discovery. They're able to get what they want very easily and very quickly, especially when it comes to romance too.
Right.
It's so easy to cheat more because you can always have fucking Tinder with the next person lined up right away.
Yeah.
There is no sense of value in hard work and commitment anymore, whether that's romantic or otherwise.
Right.
Yeah, and that is very, very scary to me. Not to sound old, but I just worry for what that means for society and where the fuck it's going. I don't know. What do you think?
Um. No, I agree with you for sure. There's a few pointers that Nerd Social had pointed out. I wanted to point out that the greatest generation it should be your generation. You should always think that your generation is the greatest generation because only you can make it better. Saying that your grandfather, your great grandfather, your greatest grandfather is the greatest generation is I don't think is the way to go. You should really think that your generation is better because the more you think that it is better, it can become better. Um, I think, in my personal opinion, your life is always going to be better than someone else's. Of course, the grass is greener on the other side, but not really true. That's just a phrase to give you negativity. You got to think more positive to your outlook in life. You may have the worst time of your life and of course you remember. I don't really tell a lot of people that I've gone through becoming homeless and living into a shelter while trying to lead a clan, which was horrible, and that butted heads with me and you, which was bad. But that gave me a lesson. That taught me something. Like going through the worst will always teach you something. So if you're going through something bad right now, that is
Stay open to
that
it.
is a lesson.
Stay open to it.
Learn
Yep.
from it. Like live with it. You know what I mean? And that's just my advice. But I see what you're saying.
And
when
you're
it
right.
comes-
Well, and that's just it too. I mean, I know I'm coming off a little bit like aggressive because I'm frustrated, but my true feelings is what you just said. And even in that conversation I had with that woman, I said, take the adversity as a sign of an opportunity to get stronger and to get better. And more importantly, once you're in a position of stability, use that to help others stand up when they stumble. This life is hard for anybody and everybody, and it always will be. What's important is what you make of it, how you manage to stay positive, how you manage to push through that adversity and try to make the lives of people around you a little bit better while you're doing it.
Mhm.
And that's the thing that I feel a lot of people have lost. It's not just the lack of compassion, focus on themselves and how hard everything is for them that they're not looking at their neighbor or their best friend, even the people right around them
Right.
who might have it a lot worse, and they might have the ability to help, and they're just not. They're just
Mhm.
bitch, and then they're also not really doing anything to fix it either. I'm finding
Yeah.
it's a lot of complaints and venting and very little action to actually change it. Like, if you really believe there's a fundamental breakdown in the system, then work through the system to a point where you have the power to fix it and change it.
Yo,
That's what you're supposed to
Ninja.
do.
Hey, Ninja
That's what,
just joined us too. That's Steve. Steve,
nice.
he changes dismantled wiener to Ninja B. Just so you know.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
What's up, buddy?
I get a lot of people that come down to the station where I work at, my second job, where they vent a lot. Surprisingly, I think gas stations, I work at a gas station, people vent to you because I guess that's the best place for someone to stop by, and it's almost every day you need gas. Everyone needs gas. So they come in my shift, I guess. I don't know if it happens to me often because it's kind of slow when it's during my time. And when people come over to me at my time, it's usually the regulars, and they tend to vent. And there's this one gentleman who's always complaining where he lives, always complaining about the situation that he's in. What is it that you're doing to change that? Is it just
Right.
telling me that it's bad? Is that the only thing that you're doing and saying is talking? Talking's not going to help you fix a situation. You gotta be more physical with it. I mean, you physical
Proactive.
as talking to the right people. I'm not the person to talk to. I don't mind listening to you. I don't mind giving you advice. I like to let you vent. Say your words, say what you need to say, because talking to someone does help you express some of those stresses that you have. But you got to actually start doing something about it. Do something about it. Don't
That's
just
right.
stand there and complain and complain and complain. That's not the way of doing it. Like, complain to yourself and then find a solution, And that's tough. It's tough hearing some of these people going through what they're going through, but it's you that put you there. It's not the universe. I mean, you can ask the universe for help. That's what you should be doing. Um but ultimately, it you got you there. You got you there. Get yourself out.
That's right, man. Top top tier gaming podcast. Come for the fucking video game stream. Stay for the life lessons. What the hell are we doing over here? We're just over here
Oh yeah,
giving
it's
people
not. It's not.
freaking.
It's not a game podcast right now. It's completely different right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding, but um, yeah, and just in closing, my thoughts. It's you're 100% right. We all have the ability to influence our fate, and
Yeah.
it's very important to express your feelings. Like you said, there's nothing wrong with venting. There's nothing wrong with complaining. But if you're not going to back that up with action, then you're just playing the victim. There is nothing to be gained by living in a victim space.
Yeah.
All you do is put yourself down, and you kind of in a way drag others down with you. Like, I mean, nobody wants to feel that strong negativity from somebody all the time. I've known people, hell, I've been that person at times in my life where everything, oh, woe is me, my life sucks, and people started to distance themselves from me, because guess what, nobody wants to hear that over and over, kind of like you
Yeah.
just said with that guy. You probably see him come in the door and be like, oh crap, here we go again,
Yeah.
because you already know that's how the conversation's going to go. Like, there
Hmm.
is never a time where it's a different tune, and
Well,
people
I'm
don't want
hoping
that,
every
you
time
know.
he comes in, I'm actually hoping for some good news. You know what I mean? I really have.
Yeah,
I'm really
and that's
hoping
good.
for
It's
it now.
just a person, but most of the time it's not that way, and then he's just living a self-fulfilling prophecy at that point. And yeah, it doesn't do you any good. So I agree with you, man. Anybody listening, if you've ever had tough times, we're all there to support each other. You're supposed to be, but just grab life by the horns and realize that even when it's at its lowest point, you have the ability to try to turn things around. And typically, the second you start really trying,
Uh-huh.
shit just starts falling into place.
Yeah.
You just start getting stupid good luck. Like, honestly, yeah, it's been true for me many times in my life. I've been kicked down and had to literally had the reset button pressed on my life a few times, and each time I went through a dark period. I was depressed,
Right.
didn't want to keep going, didn't see the point. And then as soon as I finally was like, fuck this, I'm stronger than that. I'm never gonna let this beat me,
Right.
and start moving. Bam, bam, things just started happening back to back to back, and I got back
Hmm.
on track.
Yeah, you just gotta get out of your comfort zone. Really, that's the only thing I can think of. Actually, there's a book I've been reading that kind of brings that leadership skills into play. I don't know if anyone reads. Do you read it all, buddy?
Uh huh. Absolutely.
Um, the book I'm reading right now it's called Start with Why. Basically, it talks about leadership and how it basically works. There's different leaderships, like for example, Steve Jobs, how he started his business, his venture. It's not with what is example like I want to do this because of money. That's a what. He wanted to do it because he wanted to inspire. He wanted to give something new to change the world, and he did that with the first iPhone, of course. The thing about this book is starting with a golden circle and the question why. His examples included Apple, Martin Luther King, the Wright brothers who invented, flight, basically. Um, the whole reason for this book is to learn to start to understand why you're doing this. Why do you want to learn? Why is this? Why is that? And why you want to start it? Once you've learned what your why is, you can accomplish a lot more. You can inspire people, inspire yourself, inspire your spouse, whatever, and so on and so forth. And the book is going pretty good. I'm about halfway through. It's written by Simon Sinek. I think that's how you pronounce it, Simon Sinek. Pretty cool dude so far. I mean, I'll tell you more about it maybe in the next podcast.
Nice. Sounds good. Because yeah, understanding your why is very important. I've gone through that a couple of times in different leadership courses. It's funny that you say that because that's where it usually comes up. But even in your personal life, not professional, looking at the big picture, trying to get a sense of perspective, understand your motivating root causes, what, like you said, the why behind your actions and your motivations opens up a lot of doors. It really does. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And only just recently I've stopped reading regular fiction books or science fiction books, and I wanted to actually start exploring more things. One of them is like minimalism. I don't know if you heard anything about minimalism, but I've been trying to learn more about that itself. To be more more simplific or simple, just become more simple in my life, and I think Selena's been really, really supportive with that too, which is my fiance.
That's
And,
always a good thing, man. Have a little
and
spark in
everyone's
existence.
being loud
Sounds
in the next room.
I was gonna say, sounds like you got a party going on over there, and there's an angry kid. And that's okay because we should probably wrap this up. I think we're going on an hour and a half here, and
Yeah,
you know,
we're an hour 17. Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up. We're doing. I think this is a pretty good podcast right now.
yeah. Well, it's the longest one, that's for sure. Hopefully, people stick with it and appreciate it.
Nerd
If you guys
Social
like
wants
this,
to live forever. That's
wait,
his
what do you say? He
why.
wants to live.
You're not reading the chat. He wants to live forever, dude.
No, I well, I know he, if anybody, could accomplish that goal, and if he figures it out, I'll be right there with him because we got to make beautiful, beautiful man babies together.
I mean,
uh,
okay. I love
no,
it. I love it.
yeah, I do think if people appreciate this format, you come across this video after the fact, let us know in the comments, please, and we will definitely bring things up if you comment or direct message either of us about things you'd like for us to discuss. Let us know. We're all for it. Otherwise, we'll probably rotate between this and the standard gaming episodes that we do.
Yeah.
But this was
Thank you
fun.
very much.
Liked it.
Hey, Tin Hawk. Thank you very much for following us. We'll continue to be doing these. Hopefully, you'll hit us up again next time. Fuck you, millennials. Nice. Of course, you would say something like that. Dude, I love it. I'm enjoying these podcasts more often. Next time, we'll start something new. All right.
Sounds like a plan, buddy.
All right,
As
buddy.
always, everyone, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye bye.